folks, welcome to this episode of Hit the Mahogany. Nice simple one. Bit of vodka, ginger beer, lime juice. Yeah, you'll be asking, who gives a buck? Haha. A little bit of a hint there actually, eh? Well, we're going to be doing a little bit of a bucker here. We're going to be doing a Moscow Mule. Now the background to Moscow Mule, and that's how I started with this, came from what was called a buck. Now a buck itself is based on a non-alcoholic horse's neck drink, which is basically ginger beer or ginger ale with lemon juice. And then what they did is they added some base alcohol to that. And with all the huge amount of synapses they used, they're like, hey, this gives it a bit of a kick. Let's call drinks that are, what were those? Now that I've got ginger beer and lemon juice, we'll now call those bucks. So that's where we got to with that. Now you're a buck. Or a bucker, whichever way you want. I know it is a bit of a Farrier stretch to get to that point, but oh fuck, that one cracks me up there anyway. So where did we get to? Where were we going? Where are we coming from? Alright, we're now at a buck. So a buck, basically ginger beer, ginger ale, some kind of citrus, and a base alcohol, and it can be any base alcohol that you want out there. There's many of them. And they're generally called what the base alcohol is and a buck. So I've got vodka, so guess what this one could be called. No chocolate biscuit to the winner here, but this is what's called a Vodka Buck. Anyway, Vodka Buck, after a period of time, became, it was just known as a Moscow Mule. Clearly something to do with the background of where some of the spirits came from, and you don't get too far from a buck to a mule. Pretty simple there, you know, that's it. Because of that, the popularity of the Moscow Mule, a lot of bucks have actually just started to be called mules as well. Alright, so that's kind of the background of the naming convention. But what about the actual recipe itself? Well, that is a trifecta of serendipity back in 1941, where the gentleman, I'm trying to remember his name here, John Martin, had actually bought the, at that time was the failing Smirnoff distillery. Yes, that's Smirnoff distillery. So he's like, what do I do here? I need to market, I need to sell more vodka, I need to get Americans to drink more vodka. Remember around about that time, people were very much into brown spirits. And it's kind of a bit of a roller coaster ride, you know, over the times things change. Clear spirits, brown spirits, beers, stupid effing IPAs with friggin' hops that are just, you know what, stop calling it beer. Just put hops in something and just make it that, that's all. We'll talk about that one. That's getting a little bit in my, I was going to say milk crate, get me out of my soapbox there a little bit there on that one. So you got that one guy. Well, that's one of it, that's vodka. Ginger beer, other gentleman, was Jack Martin, Cock and Bull Pub. Cock and Bull? Yeah, it was a Cock and Bull Pub. He's trying to market his own brand of ginger beer to the American masses. Like anything, it's a new soda, what you're trying to do, you know, how do you get that out there? And the third angle, trifecta, third person was Sofia Berezinski from Russia. Made copper mugs from her, I think from her father's factory, and now is trying to sell those and distribute them in the US. And apparently they were all in the pub at the same time, the Cock and Bull pub, and they're like, what do we do here? And jokes ensued, everyone was like having a fucking great time, you know, it's like, I've got fucking vodka, you got ginger beer, you got fucking copper mugs, what do we need? Anybody got a lime? So they tried making up these drinks, and hey presto, that's where the Vodka Buck came from, which is now known as the Moscow Mule. Now maybe we should just call it the Moscow Bucker. Maybe something like that. There's a few bars just now are calling these the Kiev Mule. whatever. But we're going to stick with the same ingredients anyway. We'll get through this one, okay? All right. Very simple. There's different ways you can use ice in this. You can crush your ice, a little bit more of a frozen style drink, or you can just use, you know, your regular crushed ice, your regular ice, and it's more on the rocks there. So what we're going to do, we have our two Moscow Mule mugs, copper, good at dissipating heat and extracting heat, so keeps the drink very cold in this. There are concerns, of course, you know, anything that you put acidic in a metal, as such as a type of copper, is going to leach out, and you'll end up becoming a bit of a copper top. That'll get into your bloodstream, and hey presto. But as you'll see, this one's actually lined, and don't know how much concern there is if it was copper all the way through. But you know what? We'll live with it. All right. So what you want to do is you want to get these topped up with ice. That one's gone. Still a bit blocked up just now, just getting over the COVID. Did its rounds through the house. But, all good now, thankfully. And time to get a few beverages in us. Alright, this one, about this size, 2 ounces of vodka. Don't be shy on it, you want a kick. Definitely. Alright, here I'm using the Chopin potato based vodka. Really been enjoying this one, really have. Oh, I hate that, sorry. I didn't get it all in the mug there. Such a waste when you pour it in the bar top. So for this one, we'll call that the angel's share. You know what the angel's share is? No, we'll talk about that one later. Alright, lime juice. Using about 1/4 of lime juice to your vodka ratio here. So that's 2 ounces, 1/4 would be 1/2 ounce. So that's going to be about 1/2 ounce of lime juice. Now you can, because it's so simple, you can adjust this as much as you want. You want it more tart, you want it less tart, whatever. Alright, that's our lime juice in there. Various ginger beer options. If you have been making a dark and stormy, and I've got a few variations of a dark and stormy on one of the episodes that I did as well, you may have ginger beers lying around. Gosling's, sure, it's a mainstream name, but actually, you know, I like this ginger beer. It's got a good kick to it as well, you know. So it's a good ginger beer. It does a trick. Fever Tree, nice. The bubbles in that are a little bit softer. The effervescence in there, not quite as much of a kick as the Goslings. But it's up to yourself. Whichever one you want, use it. Not ginger ale. Ginger ale doesn't have enough ginger in it. Okay, it just will not give you that kick. And you're probably looking for around about 4 ounces equivalent. So you're really almost going to be topping this up. So that's about 2. You know, and for this size of mug, you're probably just about the right amount there. So this is going to be, if I recall, that's probably about an 8 ounce mug, which means it works out pretty nicely there. And there we go, that's us. Full of ice, condensation on the outside already, nice and chilled. There we go. And, of course, a wedge of lime. Need that for that extra little squeeze on the top. I'm somebody's squeeze sometimes. Anyway, enough of that. Alright, we now have our Moscow Mules. So, let's give this a little bit of a squeeze. This is always good when you're doing this. Trying to work out whose eye you're going to get. Is it your own? Is it somebody else's? Alright, feel the cold. It's great. It's interesting. Of course, you're getting that metallic touch just as you take it to your lips there, you know. No, I haven't been drinking, I'm just staggering a little bit, that's all, for no particular reason. The Dark and Stormy, one for the winter, warms. You got the rum in there. It really warms you through. This one, it's much more refreshing. You've got that chill, it's a sipping type of drink actually, you know what? Even to make this better, it's good sipping that way if you don't like the copper on the end. Got a straw in there as well. There we go. Vodka comes through. It's not killed by that ginger beer. It can actually stand up to it due to the quantity. You know, in the Dark and Stormy, the rum's certainly much, much stronger. You got darker, whether it's blackstrap or whatever that you're actually using. In here, it's gentle, soft. Ginger beer is heavy, but you know that there's vodka in there, and the lime juice just kind of, again, I say this a lot, but it kind of brightens it, freshens it. You're cutting through any of the extra sweetness that there might be in the ginger beer or whatever you're actually using. And you know what? Hot day, sit, relax, something with a bit of bite to it. Soft, vodka. Ah, that's a great one. It really is. It's refreshing. Excuse me. Anyway, here's your Moscow Bucker, your Moscow Mule, Vodka Buck, Kiev Mule, I was going to say Krakow Mule there, but where's this from again? Krzesk Mule. Make up the name that you want. You can market that however you want. Think of what these people actually did to start with back in 1941. All that they did was took vodka, ginger beer, lime juice, a nice looking mug, hey presto, they sold it and they marketed it everywhere. You can do the same out of your little bar basement, you know, definitely do that, and get your guests around, okay? Anyway everybody, enjoy your Moscow Mules. Cheers.